Welcome back to Team Brief Podcast, and we're starting off with a Christmas version of this, coming from Standish Ward at Wigan Infirmary, and in particular the Age Well unit. Now I'm going to be meeting the ward manager, Michelle Greenall, and as usual I'm going to start off with 3 quiz questions. First of all, how many patients were admitted and discharged from the unit within the last 2 weeks? Secondly, which member of staff has worked for the Trust for 40 years, including on all 4 sites? And which member of staff dances with horses? Now, I'm going to start this team brief by talking about 2 really big challenges that we have as an organisation, on finance and on performance. The problem on finance is that when we got our month 7 figures, we found that we were £1.8 million away from plan. And if that were to continue for the rest of the year, we would really be in very major problems. So the message is to invite the whole organisation to change gear, to put financial recovery centre stage, and to come up with new ideas whereby we can save money and improve efficiency. I'm sure we can do this, and that'll get us back to a position of stability within a couple of months. The other big challenge is A&E. This chart shows the A&E performance of all the trusts in Greater Manchester for the whole year to date, and you can see 2 things from it. First of all, that on the right, Wigan is actually failing the target quite significantly, but secondly, we're still the best performing department in the whole of Greater Manchester. And I want to say a big thank you to all staff, not just people in A&E, but on the wards, the bed managers and people working in the community as well, because this is a really tough situation, and yet we're continuing to perform relatively extremely well and give great services to our patients. So thank you to you all, and please keep it up. The Age Well unit is obviously for our older patients, and one of the therapies that they get here is portrayed in this reminiscence wall, where you see a series of photographs from decades ago, which helps people to remember their past and stimulate them. So now I want to talk about our measures of quality in the organisation, and first of all, mortality. The latest figure we have is for August, and it was a disappointing 124, and that's the worst monthly figure we've had for quite a long time. If we move on to infections, we had 2 cases of C. diff, 3 of E. coli, and none of any of the other major infections in the month. And if we look at the total number of harms, there were the 5 serious infections I've already mentioned, there was 1 serious fall, but there were no never events, no pressure ulcers, no ventilator-acquired pneumonia, and no central line infection. So that's 6 for the month, which compares to 11 the previous month. So that's quite a good improvement in performance. And now from the Age Well unit itself, some assorted news. Going back to the theme of finance, we're launching a scheme called Bright Ideas. Now this is based on the idea that you who work in the Trust are the experts in how we spend our money and how we waste it. So if you can come up with an idea for how we can save money, then we'll give a share of that to you and your department, maybe to go out for a meal or to buy a piece of equipment. So please see here how to come up with your bright ideas. Now we've some news of awards. We were national runners-up for the Health Service Journal Awards for staff engagement, which is a great achievement. And we've also won an award for our Share to Care scheme. This is where the various agencies in Wigan can share IT and information about patients in a safe and confidential way. Getting ready for the new year, we're going to be relaunching the Lose Weight, Feel Great, something that I could certainly do with joining in. And if you're interested, here are the details of how to participate in a weight loss scheme starting in January. And finally, HIS has been a big success in the organisation, but it also still has quite a lot of problems. So the HIS team are going on tour. You can see the dates and the locations here. And the point is to find out the problems that there still are from you. So please do come forward, tell us what your niggles are so that we can get them sorted out. And finally, a message from myself and from Toby, the Christmas bear on Standish Ward, which is to wish you all the very happiest of Christmases. I hope you and your family have some really good time off over the festive period, and I wish you and the Trust a happy and prosperous new year as well. And thank you again for everything that you do. Here I am with Michelle Greenall. Michelle has been a nurse for over 30 years, and all of that working for this Trust and its predecessors. But for the last 3 years, she's been the really excellent ward manager on Standish Ward, taking over at a difficult time following a CQC inspection which had been critical. But now the ward is really well run, has high morale, and is much appreciated by its patients. So, Michelle, first of all, tell me, what are the main things that happen on Standish Ward?
We predominantly care for frail, complex patients within a multi-professional team, which enables us to get MDT patients treated quickly and aim for getting home safe and securely at the end of their admission to the ward.
And what are the main problems and pressures that you face?
The main pressures that we seem to face are more for, obviously, escalation-wise for medical, for care of the elderly. We don't have a continuous, regular consultant for the area, but we do manage very well with, obviously, the registrars and ourselves doing our review of the patients. So that is one of the main problems.
Sure. And, you know, you've been here for 3 years. What are you most proud of?
The whole aspect of it, everything. Patients, I love care of the elderly, been cardiorespiratory, everything boils down to looking after your elderly patients. Staff are fantastic, I've got some really good staff. I had a new team predominantly when I started that are now excellent band 5s. They can take on the discharge, they're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm just proud of the whole thing.
Great, good. And now it's time for the 3 quiz questions. So first of all, how many patients have been admitted and discharged to this unit over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, 63 admissions and 61 discharges.
I see, okay. And I believe that you've got a member of staff who's worked on all of the Trust sites for more than 40 years. Who's that?
Barbara Stott.
Barbara, well done, Barbara. And finally, you also have a member of staff who quite literally dances with horses. Who's that and what's that about?
It's Angela Socket, that's now Ball, who does dressage. So yeah, she does that with the horses and everything. So that's her hobby, her pastime away from the ward.
And quite an achievement to get married and change your name from Socket to Ball.
To Ball, yeah.
First for Team Brief, that one. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.